right, guys, welcome. I'm here with Jim Schmitz, the head coach of the famous Sports Palace in San Francisco. Jim, welcome. So today, you're one of the most storied coaches in USA Weightlifting history. So you bring a very unique perspective from training Olympians and world championship level athletes as your bread and butter to seeing weightlifting develop into what it is today is much more popular, much more mainstream. So we kind of wanted to get your take on the growth of weightlifting and from your coaching perspective, how it's changed.
Well, to me, I just couldn't believe for all those years that nobody wasn't doing it. I mean, I still think it's not being done enough. I think more and more people should be snatching and clean and jerking, especially the college strength and conditioning programs. And they're not into it still. But so I've been doing this since 1960 and coaching since 1968. And we were just like a select few. Very few people would do it in those days. And I couldn't figure it out. And so I supported myself. I had a gym, health club, fitness center, and that's how I paid the bills. And I had a room in the back where we did weightlifting, and a lot of people were intimidated by it, but some people, for some reason, just liked it, as I did. You know, it was like we used to say weightlifting is a disease, but it's not contagious, but now maybe it is, and so I'm just enjoying the growth of the sport tremendously. And the difference between today and then was it was a kind of a select few. We were a very obscure, anonymous group. Nobody paid attention to us, and so we trained in YMCAs, competed in YMCAs. 30, 40 lifters would be a good day for a competition. We might have had 100 lifters in Northern California at that time, or even less. But so we were, we considered ourselves a kind of an odd group,
Right.
And it's so amazing for me to see it catch on, because I've always known since the first time I picked up a barbell that the snatch and the clean and jerk are the best way to train for any activity you want to be better at. And now we see so many people doing it, which is amazing. It kind of, CrossFit was the big kicker, and then the internet, and then when you introduce something to some people, they find out, hey, this is pretty cool stuff. But back in my day, when we would go out to the boys club, the girls club, the various organizations to try to stimulate weightlifting in these groups, it didn't work. We'd do seminars and clinics, travel around doing. We'd have a bench press and clean and jerk contest to try to get people going, and it didn't work. It didn't work in Florida, however. So they've got that bench press, clean and jerk program.
So let's talk about that a little bit more. How'd you get? And for the record, for those that don't know, how many Olympians did you coach?
I've coached 10 Olympians to 14 Olympic teams.
Yeah. And in addition to that, how many other world championship level?
Probably another 3 or 4. Well, no, let's see, 3 women to the world championship level, and juniors. It'd probably be 20, maybe, including them all. Yeah. And I had from 1972 to 1996 an incredible run, and I do miss not having those level lifters now. But
so what? To that point, you're kind of talking about how it's easier to get people to snatch and clean jerk, but let's talk about how were you able to actually recruit the Olympians and world championship level athletes? Okay. How were you able to get those? What did you do to get those athletes to love the sport?
Well, it was very, very interesting. I mean, I loved it. I met this kid, Walter Seppi, and he loved it. And so then, we coached each other. That was in the early 60s. And we'd work out together, and that's how we, there was no such thing as coaches in those days. We had training partners, and you had Strength and Health magazine, and you read the articles there. You said, okay, let's do this, And so Walter Seppi, he was a real good lifter, state champion. And I was a football player, but I was doing weightlifting. If I had got to weightlifting competition before football, I would have been into weightlifting sooner.
Right.
But I did get into weightlifting eventually and compete after I was finished with my football. But I just loved it, and I couldn't believe what other people did, but there were a few of us that did. So Dan Cantori, and so then I had been in the gym, I think it's 1968 now, so I'm in the gym, I got 2 platforms, people who do weightlifting, and we're doing weightlifting, powerlifting, bodybuilding, did it all at that time. And So the guy Dan Cantori comes and trains with me, and next thing you know, he's asking me, well, what do you think I should do? What do you think? And I'm thinking, why is he asking me? You know, because I was coaching other people, but anyway, so then I would tell him, give my advice, and started coaching him, and he started doing very, very well. And then there weren't many places you could go to weightlifting in those days. There was the York Barbell in York, Pennsylvania. There was the LAY in Los Angeles, the Sayre Park in Chicago, and then a few other pockets of little gyms where there might be one platform. And so Cantori was successful, and then Ken Patera came out here for a competition and trained with me and liked my style, and so then having success with those guys, other people said, well,
success.
Yeah.
You built the momentum with the initial success, and success bred success.
Right, and then I've been extremely lucky to have a kid like Ken Clark, who just a neighborhood kid, walked in the street just to join a gym to build himself up. And then same with Tom Nguyen, he roller skated in the gym when he came in. And these kids had talent, and you know, and that talent is out there. And now with so many gyms, other people are getting those kids. You know.
Yeah, well, it's unique too. You know, it's special, especially when you look back on your own legacy.
Yeah.
A lot of the gyms, a lot of the coaches and a lot of the gyms in Northern California have come from your tutelage,
right.
from your coaching, whether short or long, and that that speaks a lot to your ability to connect with athletes and instill that love of the sport.
Well, the love of the sport is introducing it to people, and like I say, being totally into it and dedicated to it. People picked up on that. So
the passion. The passion of the coach bleeds off to the passion of the athlete.
And so you know, I remember Dick Smith, who was a coach for the York Barbell. Did you ever meet Dick Smith in Smitty?
No.
Okay, he's passed, but he had he had a great coaching career, coaching likes Bob Benarskin, Bill March, and Lee James, and he was around for so many. He was a great guy, and I learned a lot from him because he said he was the same way. People would come to him and he could give good advice, not rah blah 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 below my way. You could be an Olympic champion. No, well, let's just get you better.
Yeah.
You know, let's just get better. And people say, well, I want to do a certain weight. I said, well, when you do this weight, we'll talk about the next weight. You know, and I call it wishful weightlifting. A lot of kids have the wishful weightlifting. They want to do something, and the way I can tell the dedication is, well, you got to show up on time. Number one, the workout starts at this time. You got to be there on time. If they are, I know that's a degree of dedication. I say, if I want you to weigh a certain weight, and I weigh them in, then I know that they're taking care of their diet. So these are the two things that I use.
Those little steps.
Yeah, little steps. So you show up on time, keep your weight, and we're going to be at 85 kilo or we're going to be at 90 kilo. You got to be in a certain range. And if you're not doing that, I know that if you do that, then you're at home. You're thinking about weightlifting.
Right.
So, and then just success bred success, and it's been an incredible experience. I've been all over the world, met all the great champions, and seen all the world records, and coached so many Americans.
You've been at. You can probably count. It's easier for you to count the Olympics and World Championships you haven't gone to.
I only missed. 1972 was when I had Dan Cantori and Ken Patera on the team, and I couldn't go to that one because I just had bought out my business partners, was moving my gym to a different location, and no money, and I had to work, do all this manual labor to build my gym. And so I didn't go there, and Ken Patera bombed out, and I know he wouldn't have bombed out if I had been there because I wouldn't have had him take that weight.
Sure.
But because he had confidence in when I said, we'll take this weight, and that leads to the next weight. And but he got locked into certain weights that other people, because he was so strong. Everybody was, oh yeah, Ken, you know. And he bombed out because he listened to them, and he didn't take the weights that would have set him up for at least a silver medal. Anyway, and so then I've gone to everyone since because of that, but then the 80 Olympics, because of the boycott, we didn't go. Yeah.
Last question. So, what's the biggest? What would probably be the biggest piece of advice you can give to the new crop of younger developing coaches like myself? And others?
Be realistic. Be honest with your lifters, and then like say, because you get some people that have tremendous enthusiasm, and like just say, well, first, you got to hit certain levels. Don't say, oh yeah, but this you're going to clean and jerk 200 kilos, but maybe you might do 180.
Let's get 185 first.
Yeah, right. Just say go boom, 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 take it a little step by step, and I also always encourage people to get in competition because that competition makes it more fun, and it gives you more. you just train harder when you got competition. You train more, and when you get a person training competition, you can get them in a little systematic routine of, okay, now we're going to go like, because kids, people, even though they know, they come in, they want to train as hard as they can every day for as long as they can, and it takes a while before they, and I tell them that's not the way to do it, but they'll do it till they learn, learn themselves that you got to have a light week. I try to have a light week, one out of 4.
That's good advice, Jim.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
again, appreciate you sitting down with me.
Yeah, and I'm enthusiastic and happy for your success. And that's one thing that's happened to me is that, like I say, you have my fingerprints on so many of you people out there,
Yeah, and that's really, you're gonna.
So although I'm not coaching the high level, Olympic level lifters now, I'm very happy and proud that you and Kevin and.
So you're a huge inspiration for us, because you set the tone, you set the bar so high. So.
Yeah. And so I always want to maintain that. That's why I always, I'm kind of a badass at competitions. I want the rules followed because I want us to have a sport that's got good standards that people be. I'm proud of a sport that we got standards.
Yes.
We got quality control, and we're not just haphazard, throwing bales of hay around.
That's right.
Yeah. So I like our sport to be meaningful. Therefore, we got to follow the rules for standardization, for fairness, and for prestige.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. Let's hit the technical meeting.
Okay. Yeah.
Right on time.
Yep.